Like Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grave Matters. I am Creepy Clown Girl. Unfortunately, Filia Noctis could not be here again tonight, so joining me instead is the Sleeping Wendigo and Dexter. Hello to the both of you, and thank you for joining me.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. So, Dexter and Wendigo, why don't we see who's in the chat before we introduce our guest this evening?
Okay. So far in chat, I see Dark Horse Tales,
Hi, DHT.
Mandy Mortem.
Hello, Mandy.
I see Moonlight Falls.
Hi, Moonlight.
I see Furberries.
Hi, Furberries.
And I see Derringer.
Hi, Derringer. Derringer is Grave Matters mascot, or excuse me, the Nevermore Collective mascot. Anyways, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Real quick, couple of announcements. Filia Noctis did inform me that she will be returning next Thursday, so it will be very awesome to have her back. Really looking forward to that. And Wendigo, I think one of the hosts here tonight has a few milestones.
Yeah, Dexter had a couple of milestones.
What's his milestones?
What? Who? Me?
Yes, you, Dexter.
Yeah, crazy milestones. Completely unexpected. But very welcome and very grateful for them. Do you want me to rattle those off?
He has a milestone.
Sound like I'm bragging?
Sorry, go ahead.
He has a milestone of 1,100 subscribers and a milestone of 50,000 views.
Congratulations, everyone. Please give him a round of applause. And welcome to the 1K Club, Dexter. Well
Thank you
done
very much.
and well deserved.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So everyone
kinda...
tonight... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dexter.
Oh, I was just going to say it's just a huge surprise and I'm super grateful. That's
mind-blowing, isn't it?
It is.
Because when you started, you probably didn't think you'd be where you're at.
No, not in 6 months, let alone a few weeks to double the channel size. So, yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Congratulations again. Everyone, please welcome our guest tonight, Crazy Ken Storytime. Hello, Crazy Ken.
Hello, Cece.
Hey, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, Ken, for those who are watching or will later watch, that aren't familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about your channel and how you came up with your name, please?
So, when I retired in 2015, I retired out of the military. I decided I wanted to try to stream, and I think the hardest thing to come up with in anything online is a name. And so I was debating, and then I just decided, we're going to run with Crazy Ken on my Twitch stream. And I think I was playing a game called Shroud of the Avatar at the time. And I streamed that for a little while, and I was like, just not. But the name just kind of stuck. And so once I got that, I started a Crazy Ken gaming channel. And that is when everybody told me I should quit making gaming videos and do narrations because I had a good voice for it. Of course, the name just kind of stuck, and now I do horror narrations, No Sleep, and things like that. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it did.
So, and like I said, my channel's primarily No Sleep, scary stories, creepypastas. I have a crazy passion for this genre and the Reddit community, and it's my way of trying to give back something, because I love reading the stories so much that I want to share them.
Well, we're so glad to have you a part of the horror community and the family. You have an amazing content and voice.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Dexter or Wendigo, do you have a question or for Ken?
Oh, go ahead, Wendigo. I'm still prepping.
Ken, since starting your channel and where it is now, where do you see your channel going in the near future?
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep making content, and wherever I end up, I end up. I work here and I work on Henry Tales, and we do some pretty good work on both channels. I'm not in a hurry. I want it to grow with people who want to listen to my content. I don't, you see this all the time where somebody will have 20,000 subs and only 10, 20, 100 people are watching their content. I want every single sub that I have to watch my content and enjoy it and give me feedback because it's about them. I love telling the stories. They like listening to it. And I just want organic, slow growth.
Good answer. I like that.
For sure. Let's see. I have one for you. Where do you record? What does your setup look like? And what roughly is your process for laying stories down?
So I'm still fairly new. I've only been doing this, 7 months now, I think, with the break for fire season. And I just set this up. That's was kind of why I haven't been on the Discord rounds or put anything out. But I have 3 monitors in front of me. One's for my script, one so I can watch my voice software, and then another one for Audacity. And this is my setup. Before I was just doing it on 2 monitors. I have a Yeti Blue microphone with a boom arm, and I record in my bedroom.
Awesome.
Very good.
The beauty of doing this is if you have a basic program that can run Audacity, and you spend just a little time on a couple voiceover masters. That guy, Josh, is an amazing guy for instructing people and getting them really started with Audacity. You could record everything on a phone, pipe it into your computer, run it through Audacity, clean it up, and come out sounding professional. You don't need a lot of high-end hardware. I mean, of course, you get what you pay for, but you don't need a lot of high-end processing power or anything like that to do a narration. And then I use DaVinci Resolve for my video and video editing and some minor tweaks with my voice.
Very cool. Yeah, you're right. You don't need a whole lot of, these days especially, you don't need a whole lot to set up a recording. Maybe not a studio, but a space, a blanket, a USB microphone, Audacity, and your voice.
Yeah, that's all I use. I mean, I've got, you wouldn't believe this, but I've got kids, cats, dogs, wife, spouse, cousins, friends that come over. I mean, my house is organized, beautiful chaos.
I can vouch for
awesome.
that. Oh, so that's awesome. So Ken, I know this is kind of early for this question, but since beginning YouTube to where you are now, what's some advice that you would give to someone just starting out on a journey?
So, is it okay, you guys? It's okay if I mention the other channel I work on, is it? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I work on Crazy Ken's Storytime, which is my personal channel, and I'm one of the primary narrators on Henry Tales. And the advice I have to give everybody for both channels. One channel we just had go viral, and it's over almost 6,000 subs now. That's the Henry Tales one. Mine's my personal channels had 142 subs. My best advice to give anybody: make the damn video. Don't sit there and look at it. Just do it.
Right.
The more content you get out there, the better you'll get at it. The better you get at it, the more people will want to watch your content, which means the more content you put out there, which means the better your videos will get, which means more people will watch your content. Some people will do it And like my buddy over at Hawks Gaming, Gregor, he put up his first video, 20,000 subs first 2 days.
Wow.
Right? But that's a gaming thing, so he's filling a niche. He's not, our genre is a little saturated, and that's okay. There's enough of it out there for all of us. But what's a good way to put this? You miss 100% of the targets you don't shoot at.
Right.
So if you keep that in mind when translate that into YouTube, you're never going to get people watching your content if you don't make the content.
Exactly. Good advice. And speaking of Henry Tells, but we'll get to him in a little bit. Go ahead, Dexter.
I was just going to say I would add, expecting immediate results either is probably going to leave you disappointed. Like, just
definitely
expecting the first few videos to take off and go viral is just not, in most cases, isn't realistic unless you hit a real stroke of luck.
Right, the stars have to align, right?
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. Get out there and do it.
And like I said,
learn from the other.
My personal channel, a lot of our channels aren't that big, right?
Right.
I mean, and that's okay, because every month, every video, you get a little bigger, more people watching. I put out my last video. I saw Hell in a Hospital Hallway. I have 143 subs. You know how many views I have on that video? 143.
Nice.
And I'm okay with that.
That's a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's really good. That's
really, really good. Mm-hmm. So, Wendigo, do you have a question for Ken?
Yes.
Or
Ken,
add to what to this question?
For the one that Dexter just asked, or you just asked?
Yes. If you can add to that one, or create a new or have a question. Sorry.
So Ken, if you could collab with anybody, who would it be?
Oh man, Dark Song. I've got a list.
For sure.
Oh my God. So the one that got me, so I'll tell you a story. So one of the things after I retired, I build medieval armor in my garage and I sell it, right? This is my 9 to 5. It's what I do every day. I go out to the garage, I grind and cut metal, and I shape it and I form it and I try to turn it into something pretty, right? And of course, we're just like videos, we're always our own worst critics. I was listening to, I think it was the Rum Jacks, and all of a sudden this thing pops up on my screen that says what was it? 5 creepy Reddit stories by Mr. Nightmare. And I was like, that sounds interesting. I started listening. I was like, oh God, these are people telling stories. It's not like a music video, this is actually cool. And then I discovered Let's Read, Joel, and I just, and then from him, Mr. Creepypasta, and then the whole gambit, right? I listened to all kinds, and I got into SCPs. But if I had to collab, honestly, I would say Mr. Nightmare, Dr. Creepin', Let's Read, Mr. Creepypasta, East Side Steve on the SCP genre, the Vulgan, oh God, who else would I got, God, where's my list? There's so much talent out there. Mr. Creeps, Mr. Davis, God, any of these guys. And it's not because they're big, it's just because I like the way they do their content. These guys are heroes, right? I have, God, if I looked at my list of just people that I listen to on a regular basis, here, I have to look because I have so many. I'm probably forgetting one or two of them. So yeah, Afterflight Mage, here we go, Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, Darkness Prevails, who else? Where there's one more on here that I'm trying to find it. Oh, Hell Freezer. There's another one.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
Horin, Horror Babble. I mean, these guys, King Spook, Lazy Masquerade, Jesus, right? Lighthouse Horror, Living Manuscript, Madam Raven. I could go down I got lists on lists of people that I would just love to sit down and listen to them and figure out how they do what they do and how I can do what I do better. Sorry for the long answer.
No,
Oh,
you're
you're fine.
fine. And speaking of idols, what was it about 2 weeks ago? You yourself got to
Dark
sit down
Somnium.
and chat with one of your idols. In fact,
I did Dark Somnium. That was amazing. I mean, I fangirled that up. I mean,
Yes, you
I
did.
think I was waiting. I was waiting just outside. Can I come in and say hi? Can I come in and say hi? Can I come in and say hi? So I
Ronnie
mean,
will talk to just about anybody. That's pretty awesome.
oh yeah, he'll even talk to me, you know. But I mean, it's not. It's like I like different authors or different narrators and different channels for different reasons. You know, Paranormal Scholar. I love her content. I love her content during the day because it's hard for me to go to sleep to her voice. Where Mr. Nightmare, I have to listen to him during the day. Where was another one? Lazy, I can go to sleep to that guy all night. I know that sounds horrible, but I can. But there's a few of these guys up in here that, I mean, just are amazing, but I listen to them at different points of the day. There's a couple stories, there's a couple guys like Bedtime Stories. I really like their content. I like how they put the whole production in the theater together.
Right,
And
Bedtime Stories is amazing.
I can't listen to them when I'm going to bed because I'll never sleep because I want to hear what they're saying.
I go to there's a couple I can't go to sleep to, not because I do want to hear what they're saying, but when you're laying there and it's like, okay, I cannot go to sleep to something that makes me feel like I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. Not happening. Out of here. So
Yeah.
And to that, I would have to agree. There are some people that, when you listen to them, it's like, oh, I can't sleep today. I gotta listen to what they're gonna say.
And then there's
Right.
the other guys. Then there's the other ones like Mr. Creepypasta that take you off on this adventure, and you'll get through the story, but man, by the time that story's done, you're just drifting off into a nice little dark sleep, right? And and I mean, I've always got creepypastas playing, if stories. Me and my wife call them stories. They're always playing in my house. Well, if I'm gaming, there's a story playing. If I'm going to bed, there's a story playing. If I'm in the shower, there's a story playing. If I'm out in my shop, there's a story playing. I listen to so many of you guys that you guys probably don't even realize that I'm there.
Well, another good one to listen to, whether you want to fall asleep to or stay awake, is Raven, right here with us. He has
Absolutely.
amazing content and voice too.
Now, Wendigo's got some pretty good stories up on his channel, The Sleeping Wendigo.
Yes, he does.
All your stuff at this point.
So, Wendigo, yes. He's
Sorry,
a Wendigo,
I call them
honey.
Wendigos. I call them Wendigos. Because to me, it feels like I'm in Australia when I say that, right?
I was gonna say, if he was not a Wendigo.
Yeah, it's a
Good day,
Wendigo.
mate. No. Good day, mate. Anyway.
Oh, Sassy's joined us in the chat.
Who?
Sassy the
Oh, welcome.
Who?
Sassy the Sasquatch.
Hi, Sasquatch. Thank you for joining us.
That's right,
for
Possessed.
stopping by.
I'm gonna Is it okay if I comment on the chat? Yeah, that's right, Possessed. I'm always watching.
Yes. Hi,
Anointed one.
woo-hoo. Hello, everyone that has joined.
My Nightmare's
So-
Edge.
Hey, Edge. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Possessed Radio.
Artzilla
Oh,
stopped
Doobie.
by.
Hey, Artzilla. Artsy. She's a phenomenal artist. So, let's see what time it is. Okay. So, Ken, when it comes to narrating, what would you say is your strongest and your weakest aspects? Let
I
me
think my
recall from that.
strongest is my voice, the way I'm able to
Right.
just kind of lower it down a little bit and kind of talk in that calm, soothing fashion. And I think my
Oh,
weakest part is that a lot of people say that my sentence structures are, I start every sentence the same and I end every sentence the same, and there's no variety. I'm working on that, but I think that's probably, some people say that's a good thing. Some people say, I got some feedback from Reddit today that was telling me that you need to vary your sentences up, and I'm thinking, I don't know about that, because the genre that I'm doing, if I'm all over the place and I'm talking like this, and he slaughtered her, and and then they creeped in their window and they stabbed them to death. All right, it just doesn't fit the genre. But I
right.
think pulling the content out and talking in a natural voice as opposed to the YouTube voice is a little hard for me. Because I have a set way that I like to narrate that I'm comfortable at. But I gotta, and pulling myself out, it's hard. Believe it or not, I'm shy.
You
if
shy?
Right, until I get about a half a case of cider in me, and then I'm everybody's favorite person to be around. But most of the time, when it comes to my recordings and stuff, I'm so hypercritical of myself that I just have to push upload or I won't.
Go ahead.
I mean, so that's probably my weakest thing, is my sentence, the way I do my sentences. And I'm dyslexic and I have a TBI, so I have brain damage as well. So being able to pull a paragraph out and understand in my mind, I have to see it in my mind and then narrate it, right, and then go back and do it a couple more times, and that'll allow that's hard, but it's not weakest. But getting the sentence structures when, say, an action scene's coming up, right? Such as, and he started running, and not and he ran down the hallway, trying to, he ran down the hallway, and this is what's going on, and this is what's going on, to bring that level of excitement without running my sentences together. That's probably my weakest point right there. Sorry.
Yeah, it can be
another long answer.
No,
it can be tough
we don't want just straight answers. We like, we want to get to know you, the voice behind the microphone. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's a tough one too for me to not run sentences together, like making sure that I enunciate or pronounce each syllable. I've been told enunciate is used wrong a lot. But yeah, run-on sentences and not taking the time to slow down and pronounce every syllable so that people can understand what you're saying, because that's probably the most important part. So I get that. So good on you for pushing through those challenges and getting your voice onto the narrating.
I mean, I wouldn't believe I was for a little while there, I was getting kind of depressed, and then our other channel kind of went viral, and it might not have went viral on my particular video, but I started seeing the people comment on the videos that I did for the other channel and on my channel, and that really uplifts me, right? I think I finally got my first downvote, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That means you made it. Congratulations!
Right?
You made it through the downvote.
Yep.
And it's I wouldn't say it's hard for me to want to do this, because I enjoy reading these stories more than I like building armor, and I really like building armor.
That's awesome. Yeah, for those of you who are not in his garage, Ken makes some pretty fantastic medieval armor pieces, and we're not talking about like aluminum replicas or 3D printed stuff here. We're talking about raw steel, stainless steel, copper, brass, the works, like all handmade. It's pretty awesome stuff. I've seen it personally.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I see Henry. Hi, Henry. I see you're in here, buddy. So Henry's so on my other channel, and this isn't. I'm not. And if, like I said, if I get too far off, Henry brought a group of us narrators together when we started to form Henry Tales. I'm really proud of what we've done over there. We broke the monetization barrier. We're almost to 6,000 subs. Our videos are doing really well. Everybody should if you guys get a chance, please check out my channel, but also check out some of the stories I do over there for them. He brought us all together, and we have such an amazing team over there. Everybody does their own type of videos, or we do a collab where we each do something different on a video, but having that flavor inspires me to do better on my channel.
Hello, Henry Tales. Thank you for joining us on Grave Matters. It's really awesome to have you here. Wendigo, Dexter.
We've got hair raising narratives in the chat.
Yes,
hey, HN.
Oh,
it's not Joe cheese, it's my cheese.
Did you guys see? Oh, okay. So I have to shout this out because I thought he did an amazing job. Possessed Radio's in chat. If you have not went and watched his version of Ted the Caver, you need to go and watch that. It is freaking amazing. He did such a good job on the production, on the voice, on the editing. I mean, I've watched it twice now, start to finish every time. I just can't put it down.
That's all. Yeah, I've heard the first few, maybe 5 minutes of it, and I keep meaning to go back and dive back in because it did hook me at first. I just had to do something else, and then something else after that, and ADHD, you know, stuff snowballs, and then you don't get back to the thing you wanted to do for a couple of days. So, but I can confirm. It sounds really amazing so far.
I wanted to shout him out on that, and I'm sorry. I hope I didn't jump the gun there, but he worked on that thing for weeks, and he's got original photos, and it's
really well done.
I mean,
So, Ken, Anointed One has a question for you. So, what's your favorite story? Anointed One?
Okay.
So he says, what's your favorite story you've narrated? I need a suggestion.
So I'm big into a couple things. So I really enjoy No Sleep. I enjoy terrifying stories. You know, I would have to say my favorite one that I'm doing is probably I found an ancient tower in the middle of North Atlantic. It's an 11-part series, and I'm on part 6 right now. And so far, it's one of my favorites. The other one is the one I'm really getting into is I Saw Hell in a Hospital Hallway, written by Dark Hero XX. That's probably definitely in my top 2, right? The Tower series and then this series right now. These are probably my 2 favorite ones that I've done so far. Not that I didn't like any of them before that. I'm sorry. There is my favorite one. The Disappearance of Ashley Kansas. I did that, I think my second video or third video, because it was one of my favorite creepypastas that I've ever listened to. I think it's been done by every horror narrator out there ever, but it is so well written, and it is so just disturbing that it really gets you thinking. It's always been one of my favorites. So I did that as a homage, or what's the word I'm looking for here? A thank you for putting that on the internet. Giving my flowers to it. And then SCP-001 Factory Dr. Bright's Proposal was probably another one I always wanted to do.
That sounds awesome. Real quick, I would like to say hello to the Dark Somnium. Thank you for being here.
Hey, he made it. Nice to see you.
It's really great to have you here. Don't forget, everybody, on Help Me Out Here, Brain, February 3rd, 6 p.m. PST, the Dark Somnium will be rejoining us on Grave Matters.
And I'll try not to fangirl so hard next time.
Oh my God.
Hey,
And
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm a fan.
Right?
I was gonna say don't play. I can hear you squealing from here.
Right? Oh, I totally fangirled over MCP when the Zomba Fight interviewed him, and they're like, "Well, are you gonna say hi to him?" Hi. Like, that was a classic moment.
No.
So Ken, for future projects, are you looking at any like longer tales, 30, 45 minutes plus?
Yeah. I was originally going to do the whole I Saw Hell in a Hospital series in one run, but each one's about 15 minutes. And at the time I did the first part, my throat started giving out on me, and it set me behind on another project that I was doing for Henry Tales. And so plus I had the other the Dr. Creepin collab. Plus I had, it was like all of this was coming down at once. And right in the middle of getting part 2 blended into part 1 while I'm narrating the story, my throat goes out. Don't know why, but I sounded like I was talking through this. And it was so I have some plans to possibly finish up the next 3 parts of I Saw Hell in a Hospital and just do them in 3 pieces, or instead of doing them in 3 pieces, do one major part 2, which will be about an hour long.
So,
Awesome.
Ken, Derringer asked a couple questions. What is your favorite Doritos Locos taco? Nacho cheese, Cool Ranch, or fiery heat?
It's always got to be Cool Ranch. Sorry. Everything's Cool Ranch.
Right?
He also asked, what style of armor do you make? Medieval England, France. He also asks, aside from armor, do you make anything else with your forge or foundry?
No. I am an armor smith. I am not a blacksmith in the specialty. I make everything from Viking 6th century, all the way up to bassinets and 14th century Bergenets, clap visors, barbutes. And I do full plate all the way. I don't make chainmail. I buy chainmail and make it look cool. But I can pretty much full plate, or I can do, I can do all the way up to a full set of plate. I tend not to do that because it's really hard to build a suit of plate armor for somebody that lives 1,000 miles away. Because, if they put on a pound, guess what? It doesn't fit anymore. So I tend to stick to mostly things like helmets, armor, leg armor, because all the stuff I use is in combat.
Right.
Or make is for combat. And people wear it and get hit in it. So safety's got to be the number one concern.
It's always fascinated me, to me. I would love to be able to, well, I don't know about dressing up and getting hit, but, be the person that serves the drinks and the food.
The wench?
I think they're the wench. That's what they were called back then.
Yeah, we don't dare use that term today. Everybody in channel, do not refer to any lady you know as a wench unless she wants to be referred that way, because you will probably catch a right cross and lose a tooth. Just telling you right now, don't do it. Don't be that guy.
I think I found my new pronoun. I was shopping around for a new one.
I also saw there was a question. Somebody asked what best movie series, in my opinion. Well, okay, so for best movie, has hands down got to be the 1982 version of Excalibur. And my favorite series, Dune.
Nice choice. Oh, and Kristen Baker's joined us.
Welcome, Christian.
Anointed One is here. If I didn't see him earlier, I apologize. Or them earlier, excuse me, pronouns.
What happened?
Let's see. Ken, how about recording errors? How often do you have to go back and redo, and what's your process there?
So I do a paragraph at a time. So when I'm working, I work by paragraph. And so I'll read a paragraph and then I'll go back and go, no, that listen to it, doesn't sound good. Go back, read a paragraph, doesn't sound good. And I will go through and I will do that way till I get a reading that I think is level and fluent, right? When you look at your wave bars, I want something that's kind of uniform. I don't want a bunch of spikes or plosives or S's because I whistle my S's. And so I'll take that. And then when I finish the whole entire thing, right, I will go through and I will adjust what we call spacing. That's the time between your paragraphs and the time between your sentences. And I'm listening for things like that, or clicks or taps or anything, or S's or plosives or just background noise. And so if I find I go in there, because I record by paragraph, I can always go back to when I listen to the whole story. If it doesn't sound right, I can go back to the paragraph or paragraphs that don't sound right, and I can basically record, go match that up with my script, reread the paragraph, and then insert it back in, and then try to blend them back in together. Because you're always going to have artifacts.
Right.
Did that answer the question, I hope?
Yes. Real quick, I want to say hello to Kristen Baker. Hello, Chris. Thank you for joining us. So,
Ken, there is a question from Dilly Senpai. So, is the armor you make rated for ACL combat?
Yes. It's pronounced ACL, Armored Combat League. Now, I do mostly what we call SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism builds, or some of the other groups like EMP, stuff like that. But I have made some ACL stuff. Generally, if somebody wants a rated helmet rated for ACL, instead of stopping at, I'll probably go from 12 gauge to 10 gauge on stainless. And of course, you have different requirements, safety rules on how the helmets have to be formed. So like on our armor, we can't have a gap that's more than 1 inch. On their armor, they cannot be able to fit one. So as long as a bar cannot fit anywhere through the helmet on 1 inch, it's fine. On them, they cannot have, they're fighting with real blades. So they don't get, so their requirements are, I think they have to use an 1.5 inch blade at a minimum, and they can't thrust. So they can't have any more than 1 inch as well, but they can't have like long lines. It's hard to explain. So if I have a bar horizontal and I have another bar above that horizontal, the weapons that we use in the SCA are rattan, and they won't go through that, right, as long as it's a 1 inch. On ACL, because their blades are 1.5 inches wide and not round, they're flat, they can't have any gaps more than, I think it's 1 inch. I have it all written down for when I do get commissions on those.
wow. I love the history lesson.
Sorry.
No,
different
don't
groups
be.
have different groups have
Right.
different rules.
Right. It's fascinating, though.
It really is. It's fascinating. I've always been fascinated with like armor and blacksmithing, but I mean, I've always found it interesting how people done it.
It's just taking something flat and making it fit.
Can
Yeah,
you just
armoring
imagine trying to fight in that? Ugh.
Or my other term that I like to use, I just hit the shit till it looks pretty.
I like that.
works.
I just. Oh my God, no.
Oh.
Oh, so
Hen-
Ken.
Henry tells asks, out of
Oh,
all the videos that you narrated for our channel, which one is your favorite?
Oh man, you know, this is gonna sound so. So we did I would say, Henry, that the one we did that ended on the happy note. So okay, let me break this down. So we were doing these Let Nots Meet, and this was one that kind of will turn you to. I believe it is called. Let me see if I can find it. It one with a heart. It has a heartwarming ending. So basically, so it's this kid who's home alone, and they look out back, and there's this person standing on their back porch eating the ash cigarette butts out of the ashtray, just flipping out. Police show up, arrest this person, knocks a cop out. They end up taking this person back to the mental home up the road. And 20 years later, or 17 years later, God, what is it? I think it's True Creepy Encounters. I'm trying to find it right now. I know which one it is once I see the picture of it. Allegedly true stories from Reddit. Oh my gosh, where did it go? They're all messed up. Well, anyway, I would say that it was allegedly three true horror stories, I believe is the one from Let's Not Meet. And so, okay, so the end of it is that this guy comes back, and this person that's sitting there watching watching starts freaking out that this person's back on their porch, right? And come to find out, he goes out to the backyard and says something along the lines of, "Hey, you want to come in?" So this person who is having these issues goes, "Yeah, okay, cool," and comes, or not says anything, comes inside, says the kid who grew up into a man, and this was the house that they grew up in. And the story ends by saying, you know, "Hey, my friend Tom, let's meet every Sunday to watch cartoons together," instead of "Hey, you, Mr. Stranger, let's not meet." And I thought that was such a cool story.
oh. I bet you couldn't find it. We could share it here.
I'm looking for it right now. I know Henry knows what it is.
If
Yep,
anyone
it
in
is.
the chat,
It's three allegedly true stories from Let's Not Meet.
Oh, cool. What were you saying, Wendigo?
I was going to say, if anyone in chat has questions for Ken, to type them in so we can read them to him, or we can ask
Here,
him the question.
I'll post a link to this for that particular video, if that's okay, in the Discord real quick,
Yes, that's fine.
so you guys could share it. I mean, it is a really cool story. I mean, Henry picked that one out for me to narrate, and it really was cool.
Well, maybe in the near future, we can. I would love to invite Henry Tells to the Grave Matters for a future interview. Would love to have him.
So one of the things that people, so I'm sure he would love it. You know, one of the cool things about Henry Tales is it's not just me. It is it's myself. It's Live Baloney, Weeping Willow, Jordan Speaks, Live Tree, Knight, Pixie Smith, Rose Red, Yule 42, and Zowie. I mean, and then plus of course myself, and we're all the narrators and storytellers for the channel.
Well,
Quite a collective.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
yes, quite a collective. So it's amazing. So, Ken, you're writing an autobiography. Excuse me, I cannot breathe. You're writing an autobiography, and what chapter in your life would you use to sell that autobiography?
What I used to sell the autobiography?
Which chapter, you're writing an autobiography, which chapter in that autobiography of your life would you use to sell it?
That's a tough one. Maybe some of the time I spent in Alaska. or how after I got out of I'd probably use the chapter of how after I got it out of the military, me and my family were almost homeless, um, for a little while, and because I was struggling, and we ended up picking ourselves up and then making such a wonderful life together.
Amazing. I love
Very
that.
good.
Very good.
Glad to hear it.
Awesome. So,
Let's
I
see.
gotta do it. Any questions from the chat? Any from Grave Matters chat before I ask this next one? Because I got to.
Anointed, Anointed One asked, "What sets you apart from other narrators? What's your unique feature in your opinion?"
Good question.
That's such a tough one because I don't think I'm that unique. Other people say, I mean, I don't even think my voice is that good. But other people keep telling me I'm wrong, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I would say just my general love of the genre. I mean, I've been reading and listening to all of these other creators and on Reddit, or reading the stories on Reddit, listening to them on stories for years, and I'm not here for the money. I know everybody, we all need money. We all like money because money makes life a little easier for us. But really, I have everything I need met. All my needs are met with my military retirement and everything else that I got going on. So for me, I do it because I love it. I like telling the stories. I like it when somebody shoots me a message and says, "Hey, great job on that. You did a really good job. Your voice sounded amazing." I'd be like, "Awesome. Great, because I just put 6 hours of work into it, And there's some really great narrators out there. I mean, if I get to 1,000 subs someday, cool. If I don't, I'm not going to stop doing this. I enjoy producing and doing the narrations. I just love it that much. So I don't know if that's what sets me apart, because I'm still learning the whole how to put everything together and make it sound better and make the visuals look nice. And so I don't know. Like I said, I think it's just my passion for the genre. I just love doing it. And I love the community, and I love supporting other creators. I have a philosophy in my life, and I stole this right off a meme that says, diminishing other people's candles does not make yours burn brighter.
Right.
That's true.
I love that. That is very true. I love that.
Thank you, Henry. Henry put, "People are always simping over Ken's voice in our comment section." I don't know about that.
It's simply amazing.
Yes, it is. So, Ken, you've been a bad boy. I mean, a bad boy. You're on
So
death
bad.
row. They're going to execute you. What would your last meal be, and what would your method of execution be?
What would my what? What was the first part of that question?
What would your last meal be, and what would your method of execution be?
Oh, my last meal would definitely have to be a nice 20-ounce frickin' steak. And I wouldn't even say ribeye because that's too much fat on that bad boy. I want the meat. I don't know, big
Get a
fat
porterhouse.
Yeah,
Yep.
giant
porterhouse.
Go hunt down Babe the Blue Ox and give me a steak, right?
Right.
And my method of execution would be quick knife to the back of the neck. Turn your lights out and you don't feel anything. Don't feel anything, and it turns your lights out quick.
It's a new one on Grave Matters. First time for everything.
Well, I watched The Green Mile. I don't want to be in an electric chair, so.
New.
I think one of the was when we had MD who won. We asked her the same question except for the method of execution. She goes, my last meal would, because she's going to be electrocuted. She said my last meal would be popcorn kernels.
That's awesome.
I've lost my composure on that one.
When they flip the switch.
Yeah.
If you have not watched that interview, it's funny. I can't help it. I crack up laughing about that. It is that's classic.
No.
So
Very clever.
Yeah. And Cronus is always a red Skittle. But go ahead, Dexter.
Oh, I was just gonna pop another one up there. What's the craziest comment you received on your video so far?
Oh,
good question.
God. You suck. Click my link to get better. And it was to some kind of, yeah, it said you suck. Click my link to get better. And then it took you to, then of course I kind of knew where that link was going to go. So of course I had to go to an incognito tab and follow it. And turn on the VPN, you know, to some Indian trying to steal my my information. So I think that's the craziest comment I've gotten.
Link. Right, he already did if you click the link.
No, that's why I have a VPN.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
That's a juicy one.
Yeah. I think that was the craziest comment. Every now and then I get those spam bots, you know, the one people that are trying to get their channels going, and it's never about anything that, you know, I could see it if say CC was the first comment and dropped a link from her channel into mine. Okay, I get it. We're in the same genre. Go ahead, you know? But dropping like a weight loss channel into my comments doesn't make any sense. Why are you even here?
Are you trying to tell me something?
Are you telling me I'm fat? You know, or go, you know, some kind of to promote their YouTube channel or whatever it may be. And for me personally, I don't care if every one of you post a link to your channel in every comment I have on my channel. Doesn't bother me at all, because I'm already going to be retweeting and spamming your channels out. Doesn't bother me at all. The better you guys all do, the better I'll do, right? Because it builds up the community, and that's what this really is a community. I mean, how many people in this channel right now are narrators, writers, or artists?
All of us.
That's awesome,
practically. Right.
And that's awesome. You know, this is a community where we all support each other. So yeah, go ahead, drop your stuff. Just don't drop something that isn't related to horror or in my comments. Put something related to horror in my comments, and then people will go check your stuff out too. And I'm okay with that.
Derringer goes, hold my beer. I'm gonna go post my channel link on Ken's video.
Oh shit, here it goes. Go ahead, do it.
Here
I'll
we
even
go.
leave it there. I'll pin it to the top.
And it starts.
And then Anointed One asks, who wins, Ghost Rider or Spawn?
Spawn.
That was good. That was
Spawn.
Good. Yeah, Spawn. All day long. Spawn.
Yeah, I gotta vote Spawn too.
Actually, the reality is they both work for the Devils, so I don't think either one of them will win. But I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of other people that get jacked up off that. They might just go, God. Hey, want to do this and go have a beer? Sure, let's go do it. Thanos
Right?
who? Thanos who? You might want to edit that part out because I don't want to get copyright struck.
Yes, please. Yes. Let's protect thy channel. Thank you. My channel, the channel. Anyways. So, do we have any more questions from the chat or anything? Do you
have a couple more?
Okay.
At the ready, whenever. Wendigo, do you have any that you've thought of?
I was gonna ask them one, but if you want, you can go ahead if you want.
Okay. I would say, what do you view as kind of the thing you'd like to work most on in your narrating and recording, editing, and all that? And
To get my... Go ahead.
So how do you plan to push your, like, do you plan to continually change up how you're doing things? Or are you kind of comfortable with what you do and want to do it that way? Or
there's an old saying, if you ain't changing, you're dying, right? What that means is if you're staying stagnant, you're not growing, you're not moving forward. I'm trying to push myself to be even better. I mean, yes, someday I want to be Mr. Nightmare. I want to be the Dark Somnian. I want to be Lazy Masquerade. I want to be Mr. Creepypasta. And the only way I'm going to do that is by taking every video I do and making each one better, pushing myself to make it better. Not just do it because I'm in a hurry. Do it because it's going to be, each one is going to be just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then I'm going to teach everybody how to do it.
Very cool. Yeah. Is there a particular area that you're wanting to improve on sooner than later?
So I think a lot is going to change here. A friend of mine that I met in this community, I'm not going to say his name, just sent me a really expensive microphone and analog cable and an analog to digital converter for my computer. So I think that's going to take a lot of the artifacting out of my narrations. So it's a little bit of an equipment change, especially for the environment that I'm in here in my bedroom. And yeah, I'm gonna be working more on voice acting rather than just reading.
Nice. Look forward to it.
So not necessarily changing my voice, but like working on techniques. And I just picked up some good information off on Reddit. They sent me somebody posted some feedback on r/voice acting. And one of the things they told me was, when you're talking, use your hands and you will sound more fluent, right? Because that's how we naturally talk. Don't put them in your lap and talk. Move your hands, move around the mic so it sounds a little more natural and more fluent. That's something I'm going to be working on. I'm a great technical reader. If you guys want me to read an SCP, I can read you an SCP. It's a clinical sterile document, right?
Mm-hmm.
But trying to get the feeling and emotion that these authors deserve put into their stories, that's kind of the struggle. Because not only I'm not just representing myself when I tell this story, it's the author who did it, who wrote it, who put that effort, who put all that work into it. That, I've got to do them justice too. Plus, I've got to do all of you who are listening to me justice. So, I mean, I've got to keep moving forward. I got to keep progressing. I got to keep getting better with everything that I do. Or
agreed,
I'm dying.
Yeah, agreed.
Good answer.
They tell you Rolling Stone gathers no moss, but what they don't tell you is that the moss rots the rock apart.
Right?
Right?
Exactly. And the mud slows it down.
Over time,
Exactly.
So,
very good.
Go ahead, Wendigo.
So, Ken, do you believe in the paranormal? And if you do you have any experiences you'd like to tell us about?
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. Is this a Safe for Work channel?
No.
Okay. Well, I wonder if I should tell my my graveyard story, the one in Germany. So there's this. I was stationed in Germany in this town called Kitzingen. I've got two for you. We'll start it off. We'll go back the other way. So when I was about 15 years old, I had two of my best friends, Mike and Aaron. We got a hold of this book called Organs, Ghosts, and Monsters. And it just so happens to be a lot of this book is based within 30 miles geographically of where we were living at the time. So this is before we had, all the cable TV shows and ghost hunters and ghost adventures and paranormal whatever and this and that and this and that. This was just a couple of kids that went to the public library, grabbed a book and said, this would be cool to go up and ask these people if this stuff's true. So Mike, being 16, he was the oldest of us, right? Decided, well, we're going to go out and we're going to investigate this house out on the Applegate River. And it's named for the Applegate family. And the night before that, right? So we're reading up on it. We're getting the map out and we're doing all this stuff. We know we're going to Jacksonville. We're going to get up early. All of our parents said, sure, you guys could go. So we're all staying at my house. And about 2:30 in the morning, I want to say 2:30 in the morning, I swear to God, all three of us woke up with sleep paralysis. We all had this crazy ass dream about going out to this house. And we all saw this iron gate, right? Like an old, like people would have on their properties in the South, those iron gates that kind of closed. And not two of them, just a single one. And it was kind of knocked down and had little spiky bits at the top, and there was no fence on either side of it. So we were like, and we crossed that, and I can't remember specifically the dream, but it terrified the ever-living crap out of me. I mean, woke up, couldn't move, sleep paralysis, like stealing my breath, thinking there's all kinds of crap in my bedroom, but I didn't know as Mike and Aaron had the same experience that night. So the next morning, being the young men that we were, of course, we were all like, hey, I had a bad dream. Yeah, me too. So what? Don't be of course, as young men do. And the machismo was on, let me tell you. So we all jump in the car and like, I'm going to go check this out. This ain't going to scare me. We roll up to that. Mike stops his little, he had a little Volkswagen. It was like a little 4-door Volkswagen, rust and parts falling off of it. And when, I think all the windows were cracked except where he had the seat to drive. I mean, your typical first car. And we pull up and we come around this corner and we see this iron gate, and Mike just stops the car. And I swear to God, we were whiter than the Grave Manor's banner. We just went up and we just looked at each other and went, nope, and turned around and left. Because it was the same one we all had the dream about. So that is, so, as a certain comedian said, when you walk into a house and you hear, get out, you leave.
Yeah, that's my cue to go. Bye.
Yep, later. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, it's all yours, buddy. And I can't say that anything bad would have happened to us or not. But we weren't going to take that chance.
Smart idea. Because what are the odds of, 3 people having the same exact dream and all 3 of you, all of a sudden look like Casper and his family? I mean, come on. But yeah, that's your cue. Oh. It was beautiful.
I see another question in chat here. Ken, what did you do in the Army? Do you mind if I answer that real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
So I was in communications. I was a 31 Bravo, 31 Quebec, a 25 Bravo, and then I was a military police officer, 31 Bravo, 31 Bravo, which there was some number of changes, so there's a lot of 30s in here. And then I was also an 11 Bravo. So I was communications for a lot of my career, and then I was a military police officer and an infantryman.
Well, thank you so much for your service to our country and your dedication. It means a lot to us.
Oh, and a 25 Bravo, computers.
Wow.
Gotta have a job on the outside, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Thanks for serving.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
A follow-up question. For those of us who don't speak Bravo, can you explain a little bit about what that is? And also, it sounds like you got some potential creepypasta material there.
Yeah.
Things I've seen as a military police officer.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's already been done. I mean,
But
I'm
not
a
from
writer.
you.
So,
But not from you.
Right, but I'm not a writer. I'm trying to write a story, and I'm supposed to send it off to someone who wants to help me finish it, but I'm so embarrassed about the story because I read it and I just don't think it's good enough. But
Send me a copy. I'll read it for you.
and then so a 31 31 kilo is what we used to call a wire dog, right? We used to go out. This is it. So I went into basic training in 1990. I was 17 years old, and our whole mission was to hook up switchboards, run wire from point to point to have a field communications network, trenching, digging, tying off lines on telephone poles. All of that was part of it. And then I became what was called a 31 uniform, which is more of a unit level maintainer, maintaining radios, installing them, taking them out of vehicles, stuff like that. And then I became a 31 Quebec, which is mobile subscriber equipment, basically AT&T for a combat field, for combat.
Right.
Then I went into computers, which was 25 Bravo, I was a system administrator. And then, but my very first job was infantryman, 11 Bravo. And of course, we all know what a 11 Bravo is, bullet shooter, right? Just basic infantryman. Then I went, and at the end of it all, I finished out as a military police officer up on Fort Greely, Alaska.
So out of your 20, yes, out of your 24, it's great to know these signals. But out of your 24-year career in the military and being separated from your family and stuff, what would you say was your most, I don't want to say memorable, but what would you say was your most, I guess, iconic or heroic moment isn't the same. What would you say was, out of your 24 years, was there, I know there had to be good times and there had to be those bad times, but is there some in that 24 years that you've never forgotten?
The people I served,
other than all of it.
the people I served with, the friends, my brothers, the one, I can't say that I have a heroic moment because the real heroes are the ones that aren't with us anymore.
Right. That's why I said I can't say that.
I have friends. I made friends that I will have forever. Some are with us and some aren't with us for various other reasons. I just want to put this out with the Christmas holidays. If you are a vet and you are in need, or just anybody in general, if you ever feel like taking your fucking life, call me. I'm Kenneth Edmonds on Facebook. Just call me. You don't have to know me. Call me, and I don't care if it's 3:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I will make time to help you get help.
Thank you.
This is a particularly hard time for a lot of vets. That's because that's mostly what I know, right? But it's also not just vets with the COOF going on and all of that. A lot of people are having a hard time and they're struggling right now, and not just ex-military members, everybody. Just remember, it's just never give up. There's always gonna be tomorrow. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. That's just something very near and dear to me.
Fine, man.
It's understandable. I mean, you served our country for 24 years. You watched a lot of men come and a lot of men go. And some didn't come home. And some never will come home. And to all of those who have served and that are serving, thank you so much for your service and dedication.
Yeah, thank you. And I would add also for those of you thinking of what Kent mentioned, remember that if you're concerned about what's the stronger choice or what's the braver choice, it's always braver and stronger to ask for help.
Always.
Yep.
You never give up because there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
There is.
Because believe me, I've been in some pretty dark places in my life. And fortunately, I had somebody there with a hand. This too shall pass.
Right. Yeah, well, do we have any more questions in the audience? before I have Wendigo and Dexter say something, and then Ken, and then I'll close the show. So, any more questions? Okay. Wendigo, what? Wendigo, we'll go ahead and start with you. Any final words?
Hold on, what?
Any final words before I close the show?
I would like to thank everyone for coming. And I would like to thank Ken for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Real quick, hello, DLV, Dark Little Voices. Thank you for joining us. Anything else, Wendigo?
I would like to thank Ken personally for his military service.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
There's a lot of us out there.
Yes. Dexter?
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ken, and thanks, CC, for having me. I
You're
just kind
welcome.
of showed up out of the blue, and you're like, hey, tag along. so I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks to everybody that came by. There was a few people that answered the call from Somnium's channel on
Yes.
Discord, so I saw a few familiar
Thank
names.
you.
Again, thank you for your service, and yeah, had a blast and appreciate being invited. So have a good night,
You're
everybody.
very welcome. Ken?
Like I said, big thing. Remember that, guys. The suicide is up, and this is a dark time of year. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. Even if you have to go down to the coffee shop, sit at the thing and just randomly talk to a stranger. If you give up today, there's no tomorrow, right? So, you know, tomorrow's always going to be better than today. It has to be. It's promised, right? I promise you it'll be better tomorrow. And CC, everybody, thank you guys for having me on here.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it. It's been fun. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. You know, Wendigo, Dilly, Hair Raising Narratives is here. Dark Little Voices made it. You know, Dark Somnium, Henry Tales. Hey, everybody and everybody else, even if there's too many to name right now, thank you guys for being here. This was a lot of fun. I enjoy this. And Cece, thank you for putting this together and having me here. And,
You're very welcome.
If you don't mind if I shout out my channel real quick,
Go ahead.
That's what. All right. My channel is called Crazy Ken Storytime, and the other channel that I'm really involved with is Henry Tales. Please go over if you like our content. You know, go ahead, just thumbs up, sub, or if you just want a thumbs up and leave a comment, I'll take that too. Or just tell me how much I suck. I'm okay with that too. You know, I'm never going to get better if you guys don't tell me what you want to hear from me.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank As the Raven Dreams again for being behind the scenes, because without you, buddy, Grave Matters would not exist. Thank you to Patience for loaning us him every Thursday. Thank you to the Sleeping Wendigo and Dexter for joining me this evening. Awesome to have the both of you. Thank you to everyone in chat. And real quick, as a reminder, do not forget that the deadline for HRN and I's channel to channel 2-part 3-minute any theme horror story collab is due the 31st with your YT link and profile pic. Remember, audio must be edited in MP3 format. We prefer if you write and narrate your own story, but if you can't, please, we need full permission from whoever you get the story from. And what am I forgetting? Also, we would like to know by January 24th for a final count of who is still a part of the collab. Thank you again. Join us next Thursday as we welcome to Grave Matters for the first time Dark Little Voices. So until then, everyone stay frightened and remember, if you listen, the graves always whisper. And when you join the collective, you can leave nevermore. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everyone.